So there is a formula for becoming a world leading coach. Introduce Mitchell here, standing with me. I've been in Colorado with him for the last 2 months. It's been life changing. He's a very powerful individual. He's going to speak a little later. We've also got George speaking on the business side a little later. He works with multiple $1 million plus, $2 million plus businesses as their business coach. He exited from his own business so he could torture himself here in the mountains with Mitchell more regularly, running ultra marathons and doing all kinds of things that no sane person would want to do to themselves. But he knows a lot about business as well, and he's going to be speaking after me. I am very, very excited and grateful for the opportunity to speak with you today about building coaches and coaches who lead and who change the world, because that's ultimately what I decided to leave coaching athletes full time. I worked in professional rugby league and that was what I was doing. And I decided to leave that to coach coaches. And I didn't really know what that would look like, but it's turned out pretty good. And in putting this presentation together, I've reflected more on like, what is it that works? And I hope this presentation can be an inspiration for those of you who've already been somewhat along the path to see that there's further for us to go. And for those who don't know me or haven't been involved in anything that I've done, this should give you a really clear picture of what it takes to become a world leading coach. And I'm going to give you some proof so that it doesn't just sound like bullshit, because lots of people come up with big headlines these days, but can actually back this up. And I'm excited to invite you into the life of a leading coach. So the promise is that you will leave this presentation with a proven and precise path to becoming a world leading coach. And that's what I'm sure I'm about to deliver, and I'm excited to share with you. So there's a thing going on in the world at the moment with athletes and athletics, and most people are doing something similar to everyone else. And I was never really that interested in doing something similar to everyone else. And the model never really made that much sense to me, and the way that athletes behaved and the coaches behaved, the dynamic training setup, the periodization, the way sports science is used, all of it just didn't feel right to me. And even though I coached world champion individuals and teams, the leading team in the Australian League who won against the Europeans, which makes them a world champion, but it's a weak world champion really. But I coached some athletes at the highest standard, and I always felt like this is not it. This is not the model. This is not the best that we can do. So there's this idea that every team is going after the star players, and they're recruiting and they're spending a lot of money to recruit these star players. But then when it comes down to it, they don't actually know how to build star players. Most of the star players are already going to be star players by the time they're 16 or 18, or at least by the time they're 22. And it's very, very rare that a player emerges as a star beyond that. And I believe it's because the model is broken. I think that we can do much, much better than what we're doing currently. And I'm going to share that with you. How do we build these star players? Guys just jumping in here. Welcome, Jonas. So one of the best examples of this that should fire up any coach to consider maybe we can do it a lot better is Cam McAvoy's story. So he was a junior world champion, and he was expected, he did okay at his first Olympics 2012. He was expected to do really well in 2016 and didn't win a medal. I think he came 8th. And then in his third Olympics, he was on the relay team in the heats, and he wasn't invited for the finals. So he wasn't needed. So he wasn't in the top 4 swimmers in Australia, let alone the world, at his third Olympics. And it was pretty much over for him. He took a break from the sport in 2020. Now, what he did during that break was reconsider everything, invent a new model for athleticism, and no coach would take him on to work with that new model because he would turn everything on its head. And what happened with that model was he won gold in the Olympics, and he set a new world record, and he's becoming the greatest sprint swimmer of all time. He's just announced that he's going to start swimming the 100 meters as well because he's so dominant in the 50, and he's hinted at swimming other strokes if they have other 50-meter races. So this is happening to all athletes. And we should stay in the curiosity of how you're doing this to athletes that you're working with. If we're in the curiosity that maybe we're putting our athletes through a model that makes them, it crushes their potential. They could be winning gold medals and they're falling out the back door. If we come at it from that angle, then we can find new solutions. Now, Cam did ATG online for a period. He was very much into the range strength stuff, the range of strength that we launched around that period. And he was listening to the things that we were talking about with that. He also really got into the Niels van der Poel approach to training. And I'm not going to go into details on that today, but it's important to understand that athletes can be night and day different to how they are now. And that's the experience that I had working with rugby players. I worked with a young French team who went from having no chance of playing professionally to dozens of them playing in the top league. And a lot of what Mitchell talks about as well is the ability to unlock new capacity much faster than we think that we can. We have to build stuff long term, but then there's also short term things that we can do to dramatically increase potential. Now, if Cam hadn't set up his own whole new standard and completely torn up the book on what it is to be a sprint swimmer, he would never have won the gold medal. He wouldn't have changed his sport. Now, every other sprint swimmer in the world has to look at what he's doing, and he's bending the sport. And what I'm challenging you with, and us as a network, if you choose to be part of it, or if you're already part of it, or if you're accepted to be part of it, is let's bend the reality of athleticism for all of mankind. All right, someone's checking in there. All right, I'm gonna see if I can find. Yeah.
Fluke training.
Yeah, it's Robin.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, you're bad. It's all good. Happens. It's part of the Zoom fun, and finding that little window when you're screen sharing and all that makes it a little bit more challenging. So that's the model that I'm coming from. That's the model that I came from working with the team in France. That's the model that I work with the coaches that I work with now, is that maybe we can do it much better than how we're doing it now. That's the goal, and that's what I expect. And that's part of the reason why a lot of the coaches that I'm going to share the stories of shortly have done what they've done, is because there's an expectation that you're going to be exponentially better than you are now once we've done a little bit of work together. That was my expectation with this team here on the right. We weren't expected to make the finals in 2013. The team had come 13th the year before, and we ended up winning the regular season, winning the grand final, setting an all-time record for 0 scorelines for opposing teams, winning the club championship. And it started a dynasty that landed with 2 other premierships that I consulted for as well in 2018 and 2019. My intern from that 2014 season, the one after that, stayed on at the Roosters, and he was the strength coach for them for those 2 premierships at 26, which is completely unheard of as well. So this is part of the athletic success side of things that came before coaching coaches. Catalan Dragons, they weren't producing players that were playing in the top league. They'd come last the year before we went there. We made the finals the first year. We were coming first for a lot of the regular season, or many weeks of the regular season the second year. We didn't win it, but we went from the worst team to one of the best teams over 2 years. And then a lot of the young players who weren't expected to make the pros made the pros. So I was training them at 6 o'clock in the morning before I trained the other team. And so these are some of the results that give me the authority to say, I think I can help. If you want to be a better coach, no matter where you're at, this goes for the conversations I'm having with Ben Patrick and Mitchell, and I'm encouraging all of them to get better the same way that they're encouraging me to get better, and we can find new levels. So Ali Day he's a surf lifesaver, so it's kind of like triathlon in water. It's quite popular in Australia and New Zealand, not too many other countries. But he went from chronic fatigue when he first came to me. He was kind of bedridden. He wasn't training. And he's become the greatest Ironman of all time. He won lots and lots of championships. I don't know how many. But we changed the way he did food. We changed the way he was thinking about his health and his future. And we introduced strength training. He also got into the exogenous ketones, which he thought were his secret weapon. And I found another secret weapon on par with that one. But he used them before every race. And he completely dominated that sport for a long period of time. He just recently retired in his mid-30s, but completely rewrote the sport, really. Sonny Bill Williams, I got to do a number of camps with, four-sport athlete, went to the Olympics for sevens, fought against the guy who fought against Mike Tyson. Like, he had some pretty serious fights. He fought Mark Hunt, who had some big fights in the UFC and such. And then he played rugby union and rugby league, won championships in both. And yeah, he's kind of the highest profile player in rugby and rugby league. And he signed the biggest contract in history in 2019. And then we did a month-long camp preparing him to go to train to play for that contract. COVID got in the way of that stuff because it was a Canada team, was a new franchise. But yeah, these are some of the stories. I won't go too deep. Tedesco is a legend of the game now. He was hobbling around. He'd had 3 knee surgeries in a row. They'd put him back into training. We got him into deep squats. We got him into strengthening his legs, and he barely missed a game for like 4 years after that. Played in the national team, legend of the game now. He's in that photo there on the right next to the trophy. He came and did a camp with me over Christmas when no players train in Australia over Christmas. It's when the break is. He came and trained during that time with a few other players. They were on the trampoline, they were in the gym, we did all the different stuff. It was wacky. And then, yeah, straight after that was when he went into that run of not missing a game after he'd had 2 or 3 seasons where he barely played. Blake Wilson needed to put on a lot of muscle mass. He was 80 kilos when we met. He was talented, but 80 kilos was too light to be a rugby league player. He went to 88 in 6 weeks, believe it or not, and he was still shredded. I know it sounds unbelievable, but we smashed the dents. It was during COVID. He smashed the food, and he now plays in the league at 95 kilos. He's 186 centimeters. He's probably only 92, 93, I'd guess. I reckon he lies on his weight, but he can 4-ball juggle. I think he can do a bit of 5. And these are some of the athlete success stories that have come along the way. I also work with Aussie Sevens and the Perth rugby franchise. But what I really wanted to do was coach coaches. And this is what's happened in terms of coaching coaches. Ben Patrick was making about $2,000 a month online. Nobody knew who he was when we first started talking in 2018. Now he's one of the most recognized coaches in the world. The best is still to come from Knees Over Toes Guy and from ATG. I'm very sure of that. We're now back working really closely together after a few years not being as close. And yeah, big things coming with that. Motion Guy, Bali Time Chamber, Bali Barn. Nico interned for me and then worked for me for a little bit around that same time with Ben, 2018, 2019. Taught him the dense stuff, taught him the range stuff. And then he went crazy with his strength and yeah, got the one-arm chin-up and deficit handstand push-ups. And then I went and spent a month with him in Bali and tried to convince him to turn his Airbnb into a place for men to go and train. And it's become one of the most recognizable men's locations. I think it's #1 in the world, really. It's the world first. Yeah, really proud to be a part of these journeys. And these are some of the stories that have come so far. Range of Strength, we did a podcast. I asked him to work for me after he interviewed me for the podcast because I could see he could squat 200 kilos and do splits, and he hated his job and he didn't have an online business at the time, and his social media had gone from 30,000 to 15,000. And I offered him a job, 500 a month, to work for me and see if we could build something together. It was pretty early days, so I wasn't being mean. It was just about where we're at. And he took it on. He worked hard full time alongside his other work. Within a few months, he was able to quit his other work, and now he's got 300,000 plus followers and travels the world running events. And he's done something really powerful and unique that's changed a lot of lives. Love Your Guts brand, most of you wouldn't have heard of, is Nathan Gould. He one of the early students, had a gym, was a champion junior powerlifter. I got him a start to test himself in the rugby world. He thought he wanted to work in the NRL. And now he has a 50,000 plus a month business that sells nutritional supplements, and he just bought himself an island in Vanuatu. So that's the first mentee that's bought an island, which is pretty cool. So like Richard Branson, Tony Robbins, and then Nathan Gould. And he's doing up this island in Vanuatu. It's amazing. If you want to go over and spend time with him, if you're in the network, there's opportunity to do that. Patrick Searson, who I'll mention later, has just moved over to Vanuatu as well. Another place where we've been building physical locations. Body by Brando has 5 gyms in the heart of Sydney and mentors other businesses. Pat Lane is that coach who has coached the champion Roosters, was their strength coach at 26, which is unheard of. So these are 6 of like the biggest stories and results so far. Fred was the first coach I mentored. He now runs a mentorship in France and works with the top handball team there. He worked in the top 15. That was his big dream, top 14 in France, and worked there for a number of years. He's built his dream life. Simon Bungate had the biggest performance facility in Australia. I helped him to go intern at the Tigers, and then he was part of the network. Ben and Will have Vikasati recovery centers. They've just launched their third recovery center, and they've got a gym. They've launched with 500 members at their new place in Australia. Lucas I already mentioned. Moochie Strength is currently in the Caribbean training KD and Kevin Durant, and he's done all the stuff that he's done. He worked with the captain of the New York Giants. There's lots and lots of results here, and it is a bit overwhelming. I don't want to bore you with it, but what the main point here is that there's a formula here. This doesn't happen by accident. There's maybe 200 guys that I've really worked closely with that have come to events and I've spent time with consistently. And of them, there's like 100 that have become leaders, like really world-leading coaches in what they do. Chad works with the NRL team and the Bulldogs in Australia. Shane has the biggest ballet brand. He's got 150,000 followers, Athletistry. Sam Kennedy's been working in the National Rugby League. Flexibility Maestro there was like working as a car mechanic when we first spoke and just wanted to work with hockey players. Now he's got 302,000 followers and he's worked with UFC fighters and such. A lot of you guys don't even know, even the ones who are in the network, don't even know half of these. So these are ones that are sort of more going back a little bit. But lots of guys who are doing really good work. And if we could find a way to be more connected and duplicate this process, there's no chance that we don't make a significant change in humanity's athletic future, in mankind's athletic future. Like, it has to change if we keep doing this. And you can see, like, Ben Patrick's had a big impact, but he's not the only one. There's many. Cody Tribe won the World Cup with the Indian hockey team. Rugby strength coach, has like 50,000 followers, just was able to move to Vanuatu. His dream was to go online. Adrian just won an Irish football title. Jonathan Uliatos has a village in Greece now that the guys just went to an event with. Giles is living his dream life, running ultramarathon events around the world. I think he's 70,000 or 60,000 followers, something now. Fabian there, you can see, is 89,000 followers. It's hard to keep up because it's still all growing fast, but he runs a dad's mentorship, kind of modeled off Jordan Potts' thing. That's in French. Oliver Zhu came to Australia. He's got 150,000 followers there. How to make the NBA, 139. Excuse me. He came to Australia to do a camp with me, and was starting at zero there. Ryan Talbot, who's on the call with us now, has started ViewMotion. Probably should be on that first page. It's one of the biggest projects. It's probably the biggest project. AI for athletic gait and such. Very, very successful in what he's doing there. Helping to analyze injuries and predict injuries and that sort of thing. We'll share more about it. I'm getting to present again at some stage in the near future, but lots and lots. The last ones, they're all business coaches. Dylan Fowler is a business coach and a great athletic coach. Jay Top is a business coach who spent a month with me twice and just made $1 million last month between two businesses. I think his business like 5x maybe after we had that time together. Luke Carter's been a mentor to a lot of guys. Tim Frey runs a business mentoring business. So the point is, there's a lot of leaders coming out of this, and it's a duplicatable process. These are some of the guys who are coming up now that I know are going to be on this list in the future. Jonathan should have been on that previous page, but other than that, we're good. Anthony put together fantastic slides for me, did all the graphics for me today, which is amazing. Thank you, Anthony. So most statistics are kind of half made up. I need to plug that in. It's over there. Sorry. Yeah. It's I'd say about half of those who attend an event and hang around for a little bit become, get some 1% results at some stage. And those who hang around for 4 years, like, there's very few who've been consistently to events and stayed active in the network and followed the formula that I'm about to show, that didn't build extremely different lives over the course of those 4 years. And it's become really normal to me, but it's not normal for any other business coach, even, Alex Hormozy or someone that we all look up to and think of as the business guru. Like, not sure anyone's hitting at this strike rate of life transformation. Guys going from beginner to leaders, to world leaders. But we can do it much better, and articulating the formula and bringing things together. Like this is what it's about. So it's not about me why these results have been created either. It's probably a fair bit of ego coming out in that, because I'm very proud of it. But I'm going to show you that it's not me the reason this happened. It's a duplicatable formula. It's just that no one else coaches in this way that I know of. So the number one pillar, and these are the three pillars to do what these guys have all done. The number one pillar is extreme athleticism. You need to look the part, you need to be the part. The more you can embody this, the higher your probability of success in my system. It's not the only way to become a great leader or a great athletic coach. There's a lot of fat coaches. There's all kinds of ways to do it. But the way that's worked for me, and the way that is most duplicatable, and the way it's getting these extreme results, is for you to become extremely athletic. So you need to follow a program. You need to track records and have those records be accountable to what everyone else is doing. You need to meet in person and prove that progress and express it physically in the environment of others who you respect and who respect you. You need to also learn new things and learn things that nobody else is learning. So even if you have extreme athleticism now, if you're like, yeah, I've got this one covered, I'm a power lifter, I'm world class. No, you don't. You need to learn stuff that you don't know now. That's a big part of the process. It's humbling yourself, being a beginner again, and doing stuff that you didn't do before. And that's what we've done over and over again with coaches. That's part of the reason the juggling and the handstands and the weightlifting are so powerful. Everyone's uncomfortable within this system in at least one area, and that's a key to how we get so much growth. The second pillar is to go super deep with at least 2-3 other guys within the group. A lot of those really big success stories I've spent a month with in person. Like the biggest ones, I went and spent a month with Ben Patrick in 2020. 2021, he was on Joe Rogan. I spent a month with Nico in Bali Time Chamber. Before it was Bali Time Chamber. 18 months later, he had the best men's business, probably the best profit micro-tourism business in the world. But you have to find this close connection. So it's connecting daily online, finding those people that you can be very closely connected to, and then meeting in person periodically. Being committed to meeting in person is a huge part of the process. Moochie's been to, I think, 7 we worked out events over the last few years. He's the one who's attended the most events, and he's currently in the Caribbean training Kevin Durant. It's not a coincidence. It doesn't happen without getting the face-to-face time. Collaborating on content is a big part of it as well, right? If you want to have that online brand and you want to have online income, then having support from others is a huge part of it. Moochie's just had at least 15 hate posts go up about the way he's training Kevin Durant. But he doesn't give a shit because he knows all of us have got his back and we're with him, and it doesn't matter what the internet is saying about him. Like, we know who he really is. And there's lots of people who love what he's doing as well, but it's easy to get silenced by those voices. And a lot of people do get silenced by those voices, and that doesn't happen in our network, at least to anywhere near the same extent as when people try and do this stuff on their own, or with traditional business coaching that's not fully connected in. It just doesn't work the same. I don't see any business coaches getting these kind of results. You also need business accountability. Is the business growing? Is the following growing? Are you doing sales calls? Are you making content? When these things have been strongest, that's when great things have emerged. Liam Howe has been a huge part of this coaching squad process for Moochie and for Evan, for Kadeem, and that this is a key part of the formula. The third piece of the formula is to teach as much as you learn. You need to be teaching as much as you learn. So you need to teach and learn. And encouraging people to get into teaching earlier than they might otherwise, I think, has been a huge part of why we've done so well. The guy just bought the island in Vanuatu. He was the shyest young man. We started working together, I think he was 19, and he was scared of his shadow. And he came to the events. He was super strong. He'd been a champion junior powerlifter. And I just said to him, okay, now Nathan's going to teach you the bench press. And there was about 35 people there, and he had no idea he was about to address that group of people. But he did it, and he grew through that process. And that has been a big part of why we get results, is because unlike most communities and most learning environments, I'm willing to pass the mic and say, you teach us about this thing. Hey, you're better than me at this thing. What do you know about it? What do I need to know? It's not that I'm going to be your best student or I'm always going to learn the fastest or believe the most in what you do, but you expressing that and getting it out in front of a group of your peers is a massive part of why all these guys have done so well. They've all led at events. Most of them hosted me for events, or that's a big part of the process. So you need to write a book. It can be 3,000 words, 5,000 words, but you need to write a book about the thing that you're passionate about. You need to have a program that other coaches can go through, 12-week program, something that others can experience. And it might be that no one wants to read your book right now and your program's terrible. It might be, but it's probably not as bad as you think. And you'll probably learn a ton through the process. And you'll probably get 2 people that'll do it, or 100 people that'll do it. And best case is it's already amazing and you realize that and things explode for you overnight. Worst case is, which is still the best case, you learn that, okay, I need to refine this a bit, and you go from there. You need to have a short course. You need to have a list of signature movements that you value. So this is a proven formula. Like these 3 things, if you do these 3 things, extreme new athleticism, connect very closely with others who are going in this direction, and teach, you're going to grow like crazy. And even if you're not that strong right now, even if you're not that smart right now, even if you're not that great to talk to right now, you will be. This process is transformative. It makes us all better. It's worked over and over again. This is a big message here. No one else is going to do what you can do. You might think that the person that you look up to has it all covered and therefore you don't have anything to say in the world. There are a lot of forces that discourage us from saying what we think and building the life that we dream of. You've got a role to play. You're unique. The way that you're solving it is different to how everyone else is solving it. Your set of experiences, the way you express it, your language, your movements, whatever it is, these set you apart. And that means that you have to play the role you can play. No one else can play this role for you. Either you play it or nobody plays it. And mankind needs you to play it. So if it's coaching, this is the place. This is the path. But just doing these 3 things is not enough. I want to give you more. I want to give you more value. I want to give you more tools. I want to give you more confidence and certainty that you're going to crush it with what we have to share. So the 1.0 version of this, we did juggling and handstands. I taught the dense method. Range method came in. We're very much into holistic adapt lifestyle things, trying different diets, fasting, keto, all of these kinds of experiences. We're big into sauna, breath work. We've pushed with a lot of those things. We got people into weightlifting, which I still love, but it's more traditional weightlifting, which we've evolved from a little bit more. And then from this base, you go into the specific sport. And this was the formula that worked for all those coaches in the back there. What I've shared with you so far, that structure and then these tools. But we can do better. And coming back to where I started with Cam McAvoy there, we need to build superstars. If you can't build a superstar, if you work with a pro team and you're not turning average players into superstars, you don't know what you're doing. Because something turned a normal young child into a superstar, and that process is replicatable even at older ages. Yes, there's an age window for certain performances and certain things, but it's nowhere near what we think it is. So if there was a process that turned someone from in their 0 to 20 years, they became a superstar. So we think of it as talent plus sport-specific coaching, but it's the talent thing that we need to unwrap, and we need to plug that in to athletes in their 20s, 30s, and 40s, and then give all of mankind access to that. But if it works with the best athletes in the world, like it's working at the moment with Kevin Durant, like it worked with the Sydney Roosters, like it worked with all these athletes that I've worked with, then it works for pro athletes, and we need to get it to the world. We need to get it to more pro athletes, and we need to get it to the world. So where does this talent stuff come from? This mystical thing that builds superstars? Why are some kids superstars by the time they're 12, 15, 18? Why are they running faster? Why are they jumping higher? Why are they catching more balls? Why are they anticipating the play? It's never purely genetic. I'm a big believer in what your dad did and what your mother did really matter, and your grandparents. If you have athletic parents and athletic grandparents, it matters. I don't think it's so much the genes as I think it's more short term and more direct than that. Like you're more likely to be a high jumper if your father was a high jumper, and you've got it like built into your psyche. If you think about like the technology of chips and everything these days and phones, well, our technology is much, much, much more advanced than that. And it makes sense that we'd be passing on some really important data to the next generation if we wanted to survive, or if God wanted us to survive. So there's a big part of that, but then we can also develop it so much. And if you just look at the collapse of children's athletic ability now, well, it's not genetics that is causing athletic ability to collapse now, is it? Why are children so much less athletic today than they were 50 years ago, or compared to tribes? I lived in the outback in Australia, the Indigenous Australians, they're all athletic. They can all throw with both hands, they're fast, they're agile, they've had to be, and their environment hasn't changed that much. We're all designed to be super athletes. It's the environment that's changed. So if we can expose athletes again to the things that make super athletes in the 0 to 20, we can turn anyone into a super athlete. What does that involve? This is the framework for the super athlete. Acrobatics. So I always ask these crazy freak outlier athletes that I get to work with about their past. And I usually can track down excellence in these first 4 categories. Acrobat. Did you have a trampoline? Did you do a bunch of flips? That James Tedesco that I mentioned earlier, who's the champion fullback in rugby league, he had a trampoline when he was a kid. When he came, even though we were rehabilitating his legs, he was doing backflip, front flip, backflip, front flip in a way that very few other players in the league can. A lot of the best players in the league will do backflips or front flips or round offs after their tries. People think it's just showing off. People think it doesn't relate. It's not. It's the opposite. That's why they're the superstar, because they have these acrobatic abilities. And we need to build these acrobatic abilities, and they can be built at any age. I did hundreds of backflips in the last 12 months, last year. And I hadn't done one for a long time. So I learned it in my 30s, and then I got it back again, learning round-offs. We just need better teachers and better learning environments, and then anyone can become an acrobat. You can do forward rolls, you can do cartwheels, you can do whatever you're going to do. It's never too late to become an acrobat. Handstands fit into that as well. And then we've got the baller. So this is all balls. You might be like, oh yeah, I'm a basketballer, I'm sweet with the balls. No, it's all the balls. Balls with the feet, soccer ball, hacky sack, freestyle soccer, kicking the little shuttlecock, all the balls. It's volleyball, it's rugby, it's American football, it's baseball, it's basketball. Anyone know who Michael Jordan was? Did he play with a little hard round ball as well as he played with 2 little hard round balls? He valued playing a lot of golf. He valued playing baseball. Steph Curry's great at golf, and his father didn't allow him to specialize in basketball. He's good at soccer. He's good at volleyball. There's a superstar formula that nobody's looking at, but we have access to it. Everyone should do combat: boxing, wrestling, judo, taekwondo. Mitchell did judo. He was second in South Africa, lost to his best friend. We should all do combat. We can do push hands, and we can do shadow boxing stuff. And it's not about like being tough enough to knock each other out. It's okay to play those games if you want to, or that's a choice. But there's lots of ways to do combat, and it needs to be done. And the dancer is the gayest, most criticized, most ridiculous one, but it's also probably the most important. All of the best athletes that I've worked with are good dancers. It's very rare that you find a great rugby player who isn't a good dancer, especially like the ones who can actually move. They can be a good rugby player by having other qualities as well. But that was built into all cultures. Just about every culture around the world has its dancers, and cultures that have held on to those dancers have held on to athleticism. It's not just village ties and joy that dies when the village dancers die. The Greek dancing, they're down in the deep squats, they're bouncing in and out. The Georgians do that. The Ukrainians do that. The Irish dancing is super fast feet, amazing. There's a lot of African dancers that have crazy fast feet. I was just sharing in the chat with the coaches the other day. Dancing is the real deal. Like, people will always mock it, but if you can't dance, I couldn't dance at all, and I'm still pretty bad probably, but I've got like a lot more timing and coordination in my feet now than I had 3 years ago. And the rope flow has been great for that. The rope is the dance partner that doesn't care if you step on its feet. That's always ready to go. and it gives you a beat, and it's amazing for learning this dancing thing. Weck is too obsessed with sprinting, in my opinion, but I'm trying to win him over to the idea that he's built the best skill and general skill tools. Yeah, this is how we build superstars. And then people are addressing the endurer and the fastest and the giant. The main thing that we're missing with that is to go more extreme. Cam McAvoy applied rock climbing and calisthenics, like heavy chin-ups and front levers. So he went much deeper into the giant and into really strong positions than other athletes go. And that's part of the reason why he went from the absolute scrap heap after 3 Olympics to now going to his 5th Olympics as a favorite, is because he went and looked at the donor sports. So there's a donor sports concept here that is revolutionary. If you want to build superstar athletes, this is a big part of it. There's other pieces, there's other things that I'm going to share, but this is a good start. The health yogi, valuing your health, breath work, cleaning the body with the ancient techniques, sauna, these kinds of things, very powerful tools. And then if you can't remember the plays, you can't be the quarterback. If you can't manage the relationship with the other teammates and your head coach, these are all parts of the intellect as well. Organizing things mentally, very important part of being an elite athlete. So the mainstream athletes are suffering. They're boxed into one thing that they have to do over and over again, and that is insanity. If someone does the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, it's insanity. If your child does the same thing over and over again, you take them to a child development specialist and say, what's wrong with my child? But professional athletes are expected to do the same thing over and over again for all their careers and not go insane, but they do. And that's why they end up with drugs. That's why they end up with the hookers and the gambling and all the stuff. It's because they're not getting stimulated. And it's a boring model. It's a broken model. And they were better off before they got into those models. 18, 16, 12, 8. That's when they were really becoming superstar athletes, even 3 and 4 and 5. So sport-specific training and strength and conditioning are missing the elephant in the room. They don't know how to make star players. They only know how to try to preserve them and recruit them, but they don't know how to make them. Gym goers are also bored to death by the current model that minimizes human potential. This Pyrox and everything that people are doing at the normal gym, in the same way that this is extremely exciting and stimulating for me to live this lifestyle of building these abilities, it's the same for anyone. It's just a question of, can they get an environment where there's a good teacher, and can they open up to learning? So these leading coaches who lead the world versus the coaches that we have in sports at the moment, what are we going to do differently? Well, we have to have really strong skill and force foundations. I've shown you that. Acrobat, baller, combatant, dancer. Develop those 4 areas. Continue to develop those 4 areas. Force foundations. Be great in terms of the giant. Have the endurance that you need. Build the fastest qualities. Then you have specific individual development. So what does that athlete need? Where are they weakest? What's going to make the most difference for them, for their goals, for their targets? And of course, you need to have specific implementation with the team and the sports coach. But you can't make chicken soup from chicken shit. If you bring all the star players together, they beat the other ones no matter who the coach is or if they don't have a coach. The star players beat the other players. So you need to make star players. Of course, you want to get the best out of the team and have the strategy, but this is the formula for building star players, which is the $1 billion solution. This is the thing that changes it all. So practically, what's next in 2026, adding on to this framework, what the biggest changes that we're making to the real athlete and real movement 2.0, how we're going to build next level athletes, next level coaches. One is adding this guy to the team, Mitchell Robertson. He has changed my life. His energy and his ability to breathe fire into other humans is beyond what I've seen in anyone else. And I know some of you have experienced that firsthand. He's a very, very special man in terms of that. And he backs it up with his athleticism. And you're going to have the chance to hear from him very soon. But he has had such a big impact on me that we're partners in this and we're building this thing together. He's mostly been the one in front, to be honest, for the last 6 weeks. This is my first kind of time really stepping out and saying something for a little while. But we're both going to do that. He's built the course Elite Feet, which is getting phenomenal results. We're bringing out the gate school. We need everybody to be able to run well. I need to run better. I want to run better. I shuffled because I had sore Achilles, sore feet from about 9 years old and never really rebuilt from that. I'm rebuilding from that with gate school, and I encourage you guys to do it as well. John, who's on here, just recently went out and ran a mile again for the first time in a while. He's going to run some fast miles. I'm excited to see everyone running 6-minute miles and under. Don't have to specialize in it, but let's be able to run. This is a good thing to have. Short distance, mile, long distance. Let's have that ability. Unbreakable Freak is also coming with this, which is how to body hack, get your tissues back online after hard work. We're still playing around with the mind one. We've been calling it gold mind and dirt mind, and I called it God mind this morning because I was feeling very spiritual at 4 a.m. writing these slides. There's something divine about the way he's talking to people about life and about themselves and such. So there's a bunch of like stories and themes that can be taught, and let's see if Mitchell can pass some of what he's got there. I know he can, and I'm very excited for that to happen more. And then, being a one-of-one coach is another key message that Mitchell has. And he's running in-person events. If you want to come and see him and spend some time with him individually, it's $5,000 for 3 days if you book it in pretty soon. If you book it in anytime after the next couple of months, it's probably going to be 10 or 20 or I don't know. Ben Patrick's been $10,000 to have a session. I think he said that publicly a few times. Being a one-of-one coach means you can charge whatever you want because people want to get time with you. And especially if you follow the formula that I've shown and you lead leaders in your area of specialization, then you can name your own price. And there's a process to becoming that kind of coach as well that we're going to be talking about. So these are courses that we're delivering in 2026 to those who are coming on the journey with us. This guy is going to be hanging around as well. Going into more depth of how to become the acrobat, the baller, the combatant, dancer, the skill guild, 4 skills. This is something I'm extremely passionate about, something that still seems ridiculous to most, and most people just want to talk about force and body composition, but skills rewire your brain, they change your life, and they need to come into the athletic paradigm. We need to make it a mainstream thing for people of any age to take on these 4 athletic archetypes or skill areas. I'm also going to be delivering the force triple. So this is the idea of rate, magnitude, and duration. It goes a little bit with the enduro, fast, durst, and giant that I shared. There's 3 main repetition types that go with this. So we've got 3, 3, and 3. The altitude drops, the rebounds, and the pause work. But we need to have the best in terms of force, the best in terms of skill. And I believe I can put you on a path to experience more of that and to have those tools to deliver as a world-changing coach. Moochie's been doing rope flow and juggling with Kevin Durant as well. And for 99% of coaches, it's batshit crazy and they make another hate reel of blah, blah, blah. But Kevin Durant is lit up and he's got a coach in front of him who's got his attention, who's doing something different, who's making him better, who's challenging him. That's what athletes want. That's what everyone wants when it gets down to it. So I'm going to be delivering these. We've also got the Pioneer Athlete and the Pioneer Coach courses coming as well, which I love going into the history of where it all comes from. I share the Cam McAvoy story, but there's a lot of other stories like that when you understand them, they stick and you have ideas of like, okay, I can follow that. I've just been researching Georgian powerlifting quite a bit, a couple of times in the last couple of months. Little guy just won by 50 kilos in the bench press, 52 and a half kilos. I'm asking him how his English is to maybe try and get him on a call for us at a future summit or one of our other private calls. But I love researching those methods and sharing them. And I think it's really valuable for coaches to understand the best methods in history, understand their strengths, their weaknesses, where they apply, where they don't apply. And this is what I'm delivering in 2026. And then we also have this group of Real Movement Elite. So Ben Patrick has really gone all in on supporting the rebirth of Real Movement. He's active in the group every day. We have a chat. We have a couple of chats, but he's active in there. And he's getting fired up and his athleticism is going to a new level and he's going to silence every critic he's ever had with extreme athleticism and the extreme results of those that he mentors. there's a new path starting there, and it's very exciting. It's been firing me up and Mitchell up, and we're all buzzing off each other with the energy that's going on there. Moochie's part of the elite. Brian Mitchelson, who's setting up an amazing place to go and train and have really unique experience, basically bow hunting on horseback in South Africa, the biggest horse ranch in Africa. He's moved there, and we're working with him to make that a place that the elite will go, but then also we want other coaches to go there and people who want to experience the best of what we're talking about here. Tim's in there. He's worked with Tour de France breath work, doing breath work and improving endurance performance. Also working now with a UFC fighter. Also done stuff with professional golfers. Zach's in there, who's working with ACL rehabs, working with Premier League soccer players. We've got a dream team of coaches. The point is that I'm bringing everyone back as leadership that wants, that can contribute a lot and that wants to go on this growth journey with us, that wants to run events and wants to, want to really coach coaches. And that's what's different about what we're doing this time compared to in the past, where it was kind of just me, Ben, and Lucas for a time there. And before that, it was really just me. The goal this time is to have a lot more voices and a lot more people presenting. And these are some of the guys who've put their hand up and committed to being leaders so far. I'll also bring in guest speakers and others who I really value, who I think can help the network a lot in these monthly summit events that we're going to have. We'll have a really big one every quarter, and then we'll run the smaller ones once a month inside of the network. So try and take a breath here. I've delivered quite a lot here, right? I'm saying we can build superstar athletes, and everyone needs to be exposed to this framework. Everyone needs to have the opportunity. Everyone's child needs to have the opportunity to be exposed to this as well. We've got more to teach and more to learn, and I've shared some of those things that are coming next. So there's a technical model there that's really important. That was one part of what I shared. The other part of what I shared is there's a coach's path here that works. Become extremely athletic, connect very often with other coaches, and teach as much as you coach. There's a little bit more detail to them. You can go back and look at it on the slides. But these are two big ideas. Leveraging these two big ideas together, we can change mankind's athletic future. How is this going to benefit you? How do you get the most out of this? Some of you can apply it to the elite if that's really where you want to go and you want to lead, you want to play a big role. For others, it's getting to the point where we can list you as a coach in our network. And this has been a dream for a long time, to be able to create an opportunity for teams and athletes and anyone who's looking for a coach to be able to find a great coach. Because Instagram is not the place for that. And that's what's happening at the moment. Instagram and YouTube is like people look at stuff and then they find a coach. And some of the coaches are great and some of that's okay. But it pushes everyone into this game of content, and it's not a healthy game for a lot of people to play, and it's not the way it's meant to be. Coaching is meant to be about coaching. It's not meant to be about how you can edit your stuff together and which hooks you can put, and you're putting energy into that stuff is not putting energy into coaching. It's not putting energy into learning. So we need to create a platform where people can find great coaches. Who's in LA who does real movement? We've got 3 guys at the moment. Great. Who's in Ireland? Who's in Sweden? Who's in wherever? Who's the basketball guy? Who's the soccer guy? Who's the 100-meter guy? Who's the knee guy? Who's the elbow guy? Who's the pinky finger guy? We need to be able to find the experts in each area. The market needs to be able to find those people, right? And that's the thing that I want to solve. So anyone's welcome to register themselves within Real Movement, and we're just starting this, and we haven't publicized it all, and we've only got 100 coaches in there so far. But 100 coaches is enough to start bending reality if they commit. And it's going to be bigger. We've had 500 coaches multiple times in the past. This time, those elite coaches I was talking about, they're leading events, and there's going to be events running regularly around the world, which is going to be help it to advance much faster than it has before, where it was only me running events for a big part of the time, and then it was COVID. So this is the big vision. It's like create something that the world can trust in terms of athleticism. The big vision of society values doctors and lawyers, but the most value you can provide to someone is to change their mind and body for better. And at the moment, there's no way for people to really find that other than watching content and guessing. So we need to change that. And it's not one coach, it's not CrossFit coaches where everyone knows exactly the same thing and says exactly the same thing. It's not ATG. It's every coach being an individual, building their individual dream, but having some common knowledge and having some common background, and being willing to be transparent about their own performance and willing to be transparent about the results that they get. We have the Dense app as well, where coaches, anyone who's in this network gets training programs and can share the results that they're getting. And we have that transparency. And whether you're following my programs or not, you can have your own programs in there that other coaches can follow. It's not about me. It's about finding an athletic solution for mankind. See what Ben has to say. Can you hear this?
I grew up in an exercise science landscape that was more political than what I needed, meaning I was convinced out of knees over toes. It was put down, even though many gold medalists were doing it. I was convinced out of lower legs because the hips are more powerful, even though the fastest accelerator ever, Su Bing Chen, was obsessed on seated calf. The fastest top speed ever, Usain Bolt, was doing standing calf and tib machine. And to this day, it still goes on. Posts will try to put down hamstring curl machine because it's rigid, it's not athletic, even though, again, gold medalist, Su Bing Chen, no one's accelerated faster to 30 meters, and he worked his butt off on the hamstring curl machine. Stefan Holm worked his butt off on the hamstring curl machine, Olympic gold medal high jump at under 6 foot tall. But then you see Nordics bashed, even though Noah Lyles, most recent 100-meter gold medalist, is one of the best I've seen at it. It's not an election. You don't have to choose only one person. You don't have to on what you're not doing. It's exercise. The Nordic didn't cheat with his secretary. The hamstring curl isn't embezzling money. This is a much more positive subject, but we're so brainwashed by the media and by politics to think in this style that we have to put down anything and convince people to hate what we don't do. So that's why I'm a part of Real Movement with no financial incentive. I don't need the money. I'm there because this is what I want to be a part of. I want to be a part of a group of people who understand this, people who are going to try to honestly teach and can have their own beliefs, but more important than that, don't have to on what they don't believe. So Keegan's doing that. I'm very grateful that he is keeping this Real Movement group alive. Sorry, this took a bit, but it's very meaningful to me. Thank you, Keegan, for everything over the years. Mentoring me, I am so grateful to be at this viewpoint now and to not have been further brainwashed. I was brainwashed by the no knees over toes. I was brainwashed by all these different things. I could have easily been brainwashed into being a political hater too, and Keegan had a big influence on that. Thank you.
So this is what it's about. It's about changing lives, it's about changing the world, and we're bringing together coaches who want to do this. We're launching the foundation membership, access to the programming, access to the weekly calls, access to these courses that I'm talking about, access to Ben Patrick and these other elite events around the world. This is the formula for changing mankind's athletic future. I'm very confident in the formula. It's worked for a long time in many ways. It's worked with the athletes, it's worked with the coaches, and we're doing it again. It's been a few years. I tried some other things. I started ATG for coaches, and that was the end of the first phase of Real Movement. And then I didn't find my way back to it for a while. But we're back. It's clear, it's certain, and this is the launch of the next phase. There's only a certain number of foundation members here. We've already got the elite group together who've made an investment backing this venture. There is a financial component to building success. The dream for me is to build more physical locations around the world. I've got a 3/4 built location in Montenegro that we've had a lot of good times at. We've got a location on the water in Vanuatu that we've worked on. We've also encouraged Jonathan to build a great location in Greece, and there's one in Bali that has changed a lot of lives. And I want to do more of these physical locations. We're tuning into this location in South Africa. And this is the financial side of it, and I know that we've given massive financial return to those who play the part here, and I always want that as well. I want you guys to do massively positively financially out of this. And the guy who owns the island in Vanuatu now, he invested $10,000 with me, and he's made several million, changed his path. He was a gym manager at a local gym. He was 19 years old. He hadn't done anything. So if you will let me bend your reality, I will be very happy to do that with you. And I can show you others who are great at that as well. And I invite you to be a leader, to come in and play a strong part, get your best out there. Kev, I've been asking you for your philosophy course. I was thinking about it in bed last night at 2:30 in the morning of like, really want Kev to put that together. I know it's not training stuff, but we need people to read books and think about interesting stuff. So when we're sitting around the fire at one of these events in the night, there's some cool stuff to talk about. I know you're very passionate about it. You've expanded your vocabulary and you've got all these memes in your mind. You're now in Paraguay doing something different as well. I'm always encouraging you, putting it forward, and Jonas, you got an opportunity with the floorball stuff. Jan's doing the floorball stuff as well in the network. Big opportunity with the sprinting now. You got Mitchell on your team as well. Like, let's change master sprinting. We've got the tools for it, but we won't know unless we put it out there. So, yeah, I appreciate those who are on here live, those who are listening back to the recording. I also appreciate you tuning in for this. And yeah, I hope you act on it. Like, this is the opportunity of a lifetime. I would have given everything to understand this earlier. I didn't even understand why so many of the guys were changing so much and winning World Cups and world titles and such from our group. But I think I understand a little bit more now, and I'm going to continue to put the best forward. So, yeah, I really want to thank you for listening, and thank you for being part of this. Those of you who have already come out to events and spent time with me and my family, that's the best. That's what it's all about. Yeah. It's not really probably the best one for Q&A and discussion, but if anyone has something that they want to share, whether it's just a statement or exclamation, or if you want to ask something, then you're welcome to now. We're going to be speaking to George next, who's in the mountains of Scotland. He was going to be here with us, and then he decided to bugger off to Scotland, but he's still made himself available, even though he's just got off the plane over there, and he's about to run marathons in the hills, in the mud of Scotland.
That's right. Are we transitioning, Keegan?
You got to be careful with that word these days, bro. Things have changed. John, do you want to say something? I want someone to say something.
Yeah. I'll step in and say a little bit. So I have been going through Elite Feet. I only got it this past week, and man, my feet feel a lot better already. Like, I didn't know how weak it was before, and I feel like a lot of times too, we were looking for the exercises, the hacks, if you want to call it that way, on how to get faster and stronger and more athletic and stuff too. But some of the things that you and Mitchell espouse, just that mental part of it, I think is a huge deal. I think Mitchell said something in one of the videos with Elite Feet, like, don't be afraid of going through the pain. Your body's more resilient than that, right? And so, like, it's very, I guess, natural for us to be afraid, because when I was stepping on the lacrosse ball, man, like, some spots were super painful and my body was screaming, right? And I got a PVC pipe, and it was crazy how easy he made it look on the videos. But it's exciting for me, right? It's exciting for me because I know there's so much more that I can grow to, and the stronger my feet get, the stronger, like, I'm going to be in various aspects. Sprinting, like you had mentioned earlier, my goal is to hit sub-5 by the end of the year, and that's something that I have not been able to do ever since I was in high school. My fastest time was like 5:15, 5:30 or something like that in high school. That was over 20 years ago. And so to blast through that mental block of like, I'm past my prime or whatever it may be, no, the best is yet to come. And I think that's super exciting for me to be able to experience just through my body, but also mentally as well. So thanks.
Thank you, John. That's what it's all about. and you're building a new clinic there. You're changing the game in holistic dentistry, living the dream on that side as well. And I know you got a vision for helping more doctors and dentists to get to another level physically. And I don't know exactly what that looks like and when, but I'm excited for you to embody more of what you love, and that's it's a big part of the work, as we explained today.
Yep.
Appreciate you sharing, brother. And yeah, it's not really pain; it's just the sensation in the feet, and it changes. Love it. Georgie also mentioned his 110 bench press in Scotland as well, so extra gravity compared to here in the mountains. Air resistance. Congratulations on that, Georgie.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Talk us through it. What was the gym like over there?
Climbing gym. So a little bit of climbing too. So it was a good time.
Oh, wow.
Little bench, a little climbing. Okay, I'm going to jump into it, guys, if that's cool. Let me jump in.
Let me give you a couple more words. Georgie's been a big part of getting this show on the road again. He's been a voice of reason for me, and he's been a big part of Mitch's journey as a coach as well. I know maybe Mitch can talk about it when he's about to after you've gone, but yeah, George has been a very good, steady influence on what we're doing here with the business, and he's been very enthusiastic and willing to support us, and now he wants to get more involved with supporting you guys to make more money and enjoy that process. I know he's put as much work or more work into his knowledge of business and sales. He's got a lot of things to quote. He's been going on the same call for, is it 20 years now or 15?
Something like that.
Like that. He's been going on the same call every week to sharpen the iron and continue to be better at the sales process. So he's got something really valuable to offer with that. He's also a really good runner. He's pretty good on the bench press as well for an old guy. And he talks it down all the time, but he's actually very, very athletic, very strong, very inspirational to train alongside, being in his 50s. So yeah, I'm really glad that he's put this, he's made himself available for this, and I look forward to what it does for our community as well. And thanks to Mooch jumping in as well. We've been talking a little bit about you, Mooch, but I hope you're enjoying things over there in the Caribbean. Welcome. Over to you, Georgie.
Okay, thank you, Keegan. Awesome. I love everything you said. I really liked the three things: look the part, be the part, go deep in the group, and teach as much as you learn. Just so cool. And that applies to everything we're going to talk about too. We're going to talk about sales and communication. Okay, so it's a total change of gears here from everything Keegan was talking about, but very, very applicable, I hope, for all of you. So first thing I'm going to do, at the risk of upsetting some of you, sorry if this upsets you, and if you have a good reason not to, it's okay. But if you can turn on your cameras, I'd love to see you. Okay, because I don't have a presentation. We're just going to have a chat. So if you're driving, if it's not a good place, it's all good. But if you have the opportunity to turn it on, I'd love it if you did. And you can ask me later, from a communication standpoint, why that matters so much. If you're selling on Zoom, which I'm sure some of you are, this is a big point. So we'll talk about it more later. But here's my starting question, guys. And you don't have to answer this. I just want you to think about it. You can answer the second part, not the first part. It's up to you. What is an hour of your expertise worth? 30 seconds to think about that. What is an hour of your expertise worth? And now for the part we'll talk about. How did you come up with that number? Anyone, how did you come up with the number? Ryan, you're right in the middle of my screen. Ryan Talbot.
Okay. It's always a difficult one to answer, but I'd say around $3,000 to $5,000 an hour, and it's basically the impact I can have on those who I work with, and I guess my knowledge and expertise.
Fantastic. So I think you said the key word. It's based on the impact, not a competitive analysis of what other people charge. It's based on the impact you feel you can have.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, I want everyone to keep thinking about that. We'll come back to it, but the format here is going to be discussion. I'm probably going to spend 20 to 30 minutes here because I don't want to take too much of the time, and don't want to give Mitch time too. Um, what I'd like to do first is say thanks for letting me be here. I really appreciate it, everybody. Thank you for your time. Um, I'm going to pose a lot of questions, and we're going to have some discussion about them, right? And my hope as an outcome for everybody here is that you take away something that you haven't thought about, or that deepens a thought you've already had, or that is a new concept for you to think about. That's my hope for takeaway today. We're not going to have time to go into the whole arena of sales coaching in a lot of depth, because it's too big of a subject. But what I want to start with is I'm going to post some sort of sales sayings into the chat. Okay, there's not very many of them, but I've just popped some in there. So these are five pithy little sayings or phrases about sales. And I just want you to spend a second reviewing them. And then I'm just going to invite somebody to talk about or ask about or share some perspective on any of them. And then we'll just have discussion. So which one speaks to you the most? And this time I'll probably pick on Kevin and ask him, Kevin, which one speaks to you the most and what are your thoughts on it?
Sorry, this is in the chat where when you go on financially independent, I don't need the business, and then continue
Yeah,
on from that.
exactly. These are the five sayings. Thank you. Let me just read them out. Here there are five. I'm financially independent and I don't need the business. You are worth exactly what you are getting paid right now. Don't spill your candy in the lobby. The best presentation is the one you never give. And if you want to know the future, give it to the present. Bring it to the present. I have about 100 more of them. I just picked five. So, Kevin, which one do you like?
Sorry, the prerequisite statement was what?
I'm sorry.
The prerequisite statement of like the question was what?
The question is, we're just going to discuss them. There isn't really a prerequisite. I just want you to pick one of them and we'll talk about it.
Okay, if you want to know the future, bring it to the present. Go for that one.
Great. What do you think that means in a sales context?
Uh, okay, say if you create a relative outcome of the future self that you'd want, and you design that, then just bring that to the current moment in your pricing if it's to do with money and sales.
Yeah, great. That's absolutely an application of it. In fact, I haven't heard that one before. So tell us how you would do that. I'm picking on you, Kevin, but everyone else is going to get a turn too.
It depends how you sell. Some people sell through the triage and then go make a presentation like a slide deck. Other people might do a pain selling. So got those two things. Then if it's an anchor where you do very high price at the start, at the end of the custom stack that you made for them, then you might do an anchor from the very top price to a low price, but you really want them to hit the middle price. So I don't think it's like one size fits all, but you kind of have your menu and you design your menu.
Nice. Nice. This one's a little bit of a technical one. It's kind of the least of the mindset ones, although I like the concept, you put it in a mindset context. But just from a technical standpoint, you're in a sales call, right? And one thing, by the way, is I want everyone to recognize that you're always in sales calls. None of us want to be called salespeople, but hey, we are, right? When you're talking to a potential client, that's a sales call. So when you're in a sales call and you're trying to decide whether you want to work with someone and they're trying to decide whether they want to work with you, what do you hear at the end of the meeting? What do you often hear at the end? What's an objection you might hear at the end? I'll tell you what I hear. I hear, I'd like to think this over and get back with you. Has anyone ever heard that? I mean, if you've ever done sales, you must have heard that, right? I'd like to think it over and get back with you.
For sure.
So
No.
technically, go ahead.
No, just agreeing. Happens a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, it does, right? It does. So what this one can mean is if you want to know the future, bring it to the present. It just simply means, hey, let's say that you get back with me in 2 weeks. What is going to have changed then? Right? What's different in 2 weeks than now? That would be one way of bringing the future to the present. Another might be they would say, well, give me a free trial of your software. Great. What's going to happen after the free trial? Right? These are examples of bringing the future to the present. It's a great way to find out what's going to happen. Okay, let's pick another one. Justin, Mooch, which one do you like?
I'm financially independent and I don't need the business.
I love that one.
It's not something that I'm thinking about too much right now, but it's a good thought to have right now.
Okay, so yeah, tell us how it could apply to you in a sales situation.
I don't know.
What happens if you do need the business?
Just keep doing business. I don't know.
If you're in a negotiation and you really need the business, what are you likely to do?
You lower the price to make sure you get the sale.
Yep, exactly, because you really need it. So you
Yeah.
offer a discount and you discount your value. Right? You become desperate. And when you become desperate in sales, people can tell. And it's actually really off-putting. So the mindset is, I'm financially independent. I don't need the business. I might want the business. That's great. Right? I do want the business because I want to work with great people, but I don't need it. So I don't have to discount. I don't have to make concessions. I have equal business stature with whoever I'm talking with. Has anyone offered discounts in the past? Who struggles with that? Okay, next one. You are worth exactly what you are getting paid right now. Jonas, what do you think that means?
That people don't understand what I'm offering, what the maybe I think I'm worth something and the customer think I'm worth less. Then I need them to get them to understand what I can offer, maybe.
Yeah. How would you do that?
Show them, talk to them,
Look
do
the
the
part, be the
presentation.
part.
Yeah,
Yeah. Find their pain. Right? Find their pain. Don't spill your candy in the lobby. This is very old-fashioned, right? This is very old-fashioned. Imagine a salesperson going in person into some kind of business. And Greg, what could it mean? Don't spill your candy in the lobby.
I was looking at this one and I didn't have a clue what you meant.
It means walking into the lobby and being so excited about your product or service that you give it all away for free, right? And that you start spewing out, here's all the great stuff we can do before you've even gotten past the receptionist. Right? So what that means as an analogy or as a metaphor is don't it's not about you. It's not about all this great stuff you can do in sales. It's about what they need. So we never want to answer questions that haven't been asked. Never answer an unasked question is another of these pithy sayings. So don't spill your candy in the lobby means I got to find out all about you before I start spewing out how great my product or service is. And amateur salespeople almost always start with, here's all the stuff we do, and here's how great we are, and this is how wonderful my product and service is, before they have learned about the other person. So here's an example of what that might be like. Joe Lime, Joe, you're interviewing me, I'm interviewing you, we're considering working together, and I say to you, hey Joe, why should I hire you instead of another coach? And it's early in the conversation. What would you say?
Oh man. Well, I think to get what you're trying to say is I'd want to know more about what their goals are to try to and pains are and put it back onto you so that we could start to have a conversation around how we will address those pains and pursue those goals together.
So what would be a good answer? And I'm really putting you on the spot because you don't need to know this, but what would be a good answer early in the call?
A good answer to the question, why should I work with you?
Yeah.
Well, any answer to the question would be just spilling the popcorn in the lobby. So I don't really know without putting it back on you how I do that, you know?
Who's got an answer to that? This is a really good one and very fundamental, guys. We're 5 minutes in and I say to you, hey, why should I hire you instead of another coach? How would you answer that?
I think reframe it and say, well, what got you on this call, or why are you on this call?
Good answer. Other options? Lucas, what do you think?
Maybe you just answer yes to find out for yourself. Just try it, and then you can give me the answer yourself.
That's a good way to do it. Here's my answer. I don't know if you should. I don't know yet. Maybe it's not a good idea. Could I ask you some more questions about what you need? And then we'll talk about later whether we think it's a good fit. This is a trap. It's a trap we've all fallen into. I've fallen into it 1,000 times. You get asked that question and you immediately start spewing out all the reasons they should hire you. This is uncomfortable, what I'm about to say. Every other coach they talk to says the same thing. Right? Every other coach they talk to says the same thing. That was the case for my business. Why should I hire you? Here's my answer. Oh, yeah, your competitor said that too. He said you're high quality, you're really honest, blah, 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 blah. He said all these things. We have to be different. And the way to be different is to say, I don't know if you should yet. It's also the honest thing because you don't know 5 minutes into the call. Right? Sales is a disqualification process. Not about trying to win the sale. It's about trying to figure out if you're a good fit to work together. That's why I loved it when Keegan said, if you're accepted into the club, you don't get to just come in. You don't get to just work with me. People don't just get to work with you. They have to be qualified. Okay, next one. This one's hopefully straightforward at this point, but the best presentation is the one you never give. What does that mean?
I would say because you're in a room, when you're in a room by yourself, you know exactly what your service is and how much it's worth to you, and you can say you have the perfect way of phrasing and thinking it, but no one's there to hear it.
Ha, that's great. Yeah. Yeah. It can't go wrong when you're on your own, right?
I've probably got a very different answer to that, but the best
Go on, Ryan.
presentation is the one that you never give is because you don't need to give one. You've built a relationship, you've asked all the right questions, qualified it, and you don't need to give that presentation.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's my take on it. If you have done a good job with the three primary components of sales, which are, well, I guess four. If you've built trust and you have understood their pain and their budget and how they make decisions, no presentation required. They're in, right? You already got them. So there's a lovely saying in sales, I really like this. I'm a heat-seeking missile for pain, budget, and decision. Right? When I'm in a sales call, I'm going to find your pain, I'm going to find your budget, and I'm going to understand how you make decisions. And you know what? If you can't answer those, you're disqualified. And that's okay, because I have lots of options of other people that I can work with. Right? We all do. Thoughts? Nathan, what's in your head here?
I like it, honestly. I'm just kind of sitting in the background. This is my first time sort of in this new space that I've talked to Keegan before. Good friends with Steven. So I just honestly I like what I'm hearing. It's interesting holding or positioning yourself in a standard where that person in front of you may feel left out, so they feel more like they need to know these answers. So therefore they're coming into your presentation or your call with more purpose rather than just saying, "Hey, let's see what this is about."
Yeah. Love it. Awesome. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to, I hope it's okay that I wrap up, Keegs and Mitch. I mean, I could keep going for a long time, but I want to mention one other thing, and this is to my earlier comment to turn on the cameras. So if you only get one takeaway today, okay, hopefully there's more than one takeaway from me, but if there's only one, let it be this. Sales is a communication process, right? You are all communicators. You all have to do that all the time. Communication is made up of three components. Here's what they are. The words that are actually spoken, the tonality with which they are delivered, and the body language that you're employing during the conversation, right? The words, the tonality, and the body language. What do you think the percentages are to make up 100% of effective communication? How much of it is the actual words? How much of it is tonality? And how much of it is body language? Who have we not heard from? Joe, what's your guess on that?
Maybe 10% words, something like that. And then tone and body language is the rest of the 90.
Yep, pretty good guess. So here's what it actually is. 7% is the words. 38% is tonality. and 55% is body language. And this is why Mitch, who you're about to meet, is such a powerful communicator, and you'll see exactly what I mean very shortly. But that's the reality, 7%, 38%, and 55%. This is absolutely fundamental to sales. If you're selling, and I very respectfully, no insult, right? No judgment on anybody. If you're selling with your camera off on a Zoom call, the best case, 45%. That's if everything goes perfectly, right? You're getting across 45% of your message. So we have to be allowing our body language into the mix. It's what Keegan said earlier when he was complimenting Mucci. He was saying he has come to more in-person meetings than anyone else. What's he getting from those in-person meetings? He's getting 100% communication, right? So when you're selling, text and email, total shit, guys. Just total crap. 7% is what you'll get trying to sell by text or email. So we got to be talking. That gets us to 45. And best case, we got to be having a camera on, or even better, in person. Any questions or thoughts on that? Does that resonate? Malik, what do you think about that?
That makes a lot of sense. I've had a few calls myself, and yeah, over the phone, it's difficult to read the person too, and especially with the decisions or hesitation and these sorts of things, pauses, you just understand, or yeah, it's more data from the person, as well as from you too, obviously. So
yeah, I see somebody in the comment, Lucas. What do you have a question there? Words, tonality, and body language.
Jonas was asking which was number 2. I think Lucas was helping him.
Yeah, I would try to answer.
Got it. Thank you. Oh, you got it right. Awesome. Look, again, I'd love to keep going. Any question from anyone on what we've said or what I've thrown out there today? What is a takeaway that somebody wants to share? Just one person with a takeaway.
I think the approach has a lot of intentionality and integrity behind it, which I really appreciate. People that don't know or come into the call, what is it called, without really knowing if they want it or not, and then you can sniff it out with this whole heat missile approach is very interesting. Because I recently had a call and it was just very frustrating because the person it felt like we're going around in circles, and he was more like looking for a friend than actually getting trained. And yeah, I was having that just from this call, I think adds a lot of value in terms of what you should be focusing on in those calls. And if people can provide you with that information or even hesitant with that, they'll definitely won't buy from you. And then you can just spare yourself the time and the follow-ups, in my opinion, at least from my experience till now.
Absolutely, right? There's nothing worse than chasing people who are hiding from you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? We've all done it. We've all done
Yeah.
it. Okay, guys, so I'm going to wrap up. As Keegan said, I've been a student of sales for 18 years. I have a very large framework that incorporates all of this and much, much more. I hope there'll be an opportunity to connect with some of you or all of you on any of that in the future. So do reach out via Keegan. And I mean, there's a lot more there, right? I just wanted to start with a few things to make us think. So thank you all. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Georgie. You're a legend.
Thank
Georgie,
you.
before you turn your mic off, can you tell the people how we met in the beginning of our story together?
Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. So Keegan said in his presentation that Mitch changed his lives, and he certainly has changed mine. I've been an amateur athlete. I don't think I'm in any of your category of capability. I've been an amateur athlete for a long time. And before I met Mitch, I was constantly injured. lot of running, a lot of, decent amount of weightlifting. And the thing I was plagued with the most was Achilles issues. And I had Achilles issues for 6, 7 years that just seemed insurmountable. I could go run for a month or two, it would come back, and I'd take 3 months off, and then it was just that cycle of constant ongoing injury. I remember this one specific situation, and if somebody told me this, I would not believe it. Okay, so I'll just say that up front. If somebody told me this, I wouldn't believe it. But I was due to go for a big run with a friend of ours on a Thursday. And on the Wednesday evening, I could barely walk around. My right Achilles was so bad that I just couldn't even walk. So I called off the run and I thought, this is going to be another 4 months off. Mitch came over on Thursday and I ran 32 miles on Saturday in the mountains. He took something that previously would have shut me down for months, and he fixed it in one 1 hour session. So that was one of my first experiences with Mitch. It was pretty real and it was pretty powerful. A lot of it was what he did physically, but a lot of it was his conviction. So thank you, Mitch, for that.
Appreciate it, brother.
Going up top?
Yeah, please, bro.
And guys, I just want to apologize. I have to jump off just with where I am at, Keegan. So thank you, and I'll see you all later.
Hey, George.
Thank you.
Thanks, Georgie.
Buckle up.
Well, good here, boys.
Let's go.
Guys, I'm very excited. I see a lot of my friends in here, a lot of people that I've helped, a lot of people that helped me. I'm going to ask some questions throughout. So we'll be engaged here, but very excited. First question, how often do you get to change someone's life?
Every day.
Every day, baby. That's right. Every single day you get to change someone's life. There's an opportunity. If you are distracted, you will miss the opportunity to change someone's life. If you're sitting on the couch thinking about how tired you are and you don't want to go to the gym, you missed it. If you're walking around, you're in the gym with headphones on, you missed it. If you're sticking to yourself in this antisocial component of culture today, you're missing it. How many people do you talk to on a daily basis? I'm talking real humans in person. Joe, Ehrlich.
At least a dozen.
Good. How many people of those dozen know what your passion is?
Every single one.
Wait, baby. We don't shut up about it. If it's truly your passion, I'm either talking to you 20 guys, or I'm talking to Keegs, or I'm off talking to Georgie, or I'm telling a stranger over there what my passion is. Not because I'm trying to sell them anything. It's because I won't shut up about it. This is my God-given gift. So you're either going to get annoyed at it, or I'm going to be able to help you, or we're going to get psyched out of your mind, and maybe we never talk ever again. I'm at least going to give you a new perspective or something you didn't have, and then you're going to go have a great day. Because the key to what I try and factor into my coaching is that if I can make you happy, you're going to want to see me every day. And if I can give you what your dreams are, I ask this question a lot. If I was a genie, what could I grant you? And people will tell you, and they'll tell you some bullshit small dream. You'd be like, oh, I just want this knee pain to go away. I say, bro, you better start coming up with some bigger goals, because that's going to be gone by next week. Okay? So we immediately start changing people's perspective on this. The thought pattern in society today is weak sauce, bro. We're all fragile. All I need is I just need this pain to be going, and then I'll be happy. I just need this one thing, and then I'll be happy. And none of these things are the case. It's our opportunity as coaches to literally change someone's life. Not like getting jacked and tan, that's stage one. That is just an entry point to me changing your life. If I can get you that thing that you thought was completely like out of this world, you will then start to grant me the permission to speak into your life. And once we hit that, baby, it's gone. Okay? So how do we do this? How often do we get an opportunity to change people's lives? Every day. How many people you get that opportunity to change is based on how many people are you talking to. I don't care about internet people. I don't factor that in at all. Okay? I will not go to the gym without talking to every single person in that gym. Not because I'm trying to make a sale. That has nothing to do with it. Because I know that I have something that the odds are pretty good they want it. I have a beautiful wife, a beautiful family, jacked and tan, super athletic, high energy. Ask me if I'm tired ever. Even if I am, I'm not going to tell you. Okay? I have what people want. You guys all have that too. We all have it in different capacities. How we change people's lives, we start talking about like what you have. You got to realize like you have something that they want. Everyone has something unique based on previous experiences, mentality, all this stuff. Everything Kev and I can say the exact same message and coming from two different parts, and it might hit 5 people differently from me and 5 people differently from him. Same words. Why is that? Because it's all based on our previous experience. So we got to start believing that we got something to say. Because we all have something to say. Most people are just too scared to say it. So if I say Jonas, oh, you got this injury? Watch this. What was the first response you ever gave me, Jonas, when I said this is going to be gone very soon? I never forget it.
I didn't believe you. Yeah. It took 2-3 days.
I don't believe you, but I'll try it. I've run into that many times because I'm trying to operate. I'm not trying to. I do operate on a different time frame, and I do operate on different results than people believe are possible. That's where we have to operate. Ryan just talked about how much his time's worth per hour. Why is it worth that? He's giving something in a very quick time frame that is very hard for people to believe they can actually get. That's why it's worth a lot. Each one of you guys has that. You just have to start fucking believing in yourself that you actually have that thing. Because most people wake up and just say, oh, I hope the day goes well today. Right? One of my favorite quotes of my favorite story, of some of my favorite stories, I was on this long mountain run in New Zealand. I'm on this, I jump in this random canyon, or I take the shoes off, walk upstream, climb a cliff, a little bit of free soloing action in the backcountry in the Southern Alps. There's no one out there. I just go meditate on top of a rock, just blazing in the sun. Blood flow incredible, right? Come down back to the stream. Before I come down, I see this family down there. So I scale down the cliff, I walk across, they just see this wild man come out of the canyon, right? It's pretty like deadly canyon. Okay, so we're out there coming out of the deadly canyon, no shoes, no shirt, just burnt to a crisp, dude. Just how we like it. Right? And then I come across and I say hi, and they've already got smiles on their face. Why have they got smiles on their face? Because I'm wearing it. I'm wearing what you feel inside, how I feel inside, I wear that. I'm not scared to show people how happy I am. I'm not scared to tell someone, oh, you go, oh, Lucas is having a bad day. I'm not going to hold back on how good my day's being. Because he wants to suffer together? No, bro. I'm going to bring him out of the hole. That's my goal. If I see him, he's having a bad day. Oh, bro, I'm sorry you're having a bad day. He doesn't want that shit. What he wants to have a good day. So if I feel good, I'm going to give you good. And I feel good most of the time because my life's super dope. Okay? So I walk out, I see this family. I start chatting to them, find out they're from South Africa. They're a very adventurous family. And he and his beautiful wife and his 3 girls, they're going to kayak this river. And he's a monster. And he's going to run the river right next to them, make sure they're all good. And he's going to follow them down river, okay? So I go, bro, can I join? So we're running down the river, we put the family in. We're like, we have all this commonality from South Africa, and we both believe strongly in God's direction in our lives, and we're meant to go and push it, and people think they're fragile, and the world is dedicated to creating fear and everything, right? So we're bonding. We're absolutely vibing, running down this river in the middle of Aspiring National Park in New Zealand. And he says, isn't it amazing that we get to wake up every day and do all this and have a strong body and strong mind? You know what I said to him? I said, sometimes I wake up and I'm surprised I can't levitate. Because that's how I feel when I wake up, okay? And that is a heavy thing. Like, that is how I feel. That's how I feel. It's my job in life to help other people feel that way. That is a real feeling. That is not exclamatory for the call or anything, okay? I have a beautiful family, a beautiful wife, athletically can move well, good energy. This is what it takes. When you can change people's lives on the daily, you will feel that way too. There's enough things in life that are driving people into the ground. You don't have to add to that. And we're going to touch on some things that can lift people off the ground, okay? First of all, let's go Joe Ehrlich. How important is running in life?
It's a human experience. Everyone needs to
Part of the
experience
human
it.
baby.
That's right.
Part of the human experience. There's absolutely nothing that will substitute running. There's absolutely nothing. That can be running long, that can be sprinting. Your bike's not going to do it. The swimming's not going to do it. There's nothing. We've been running for millennia, bro. We are bred to run. Survival running is based off the fact that you do not have to be a runner, but you do have to run. Your kid runs in the street, what do you have to do? Your dog runs away, what do you have to do? And someone's talking shit to your wife, what do you have to do? You have to run to it. You have to save something. If you can't do that as a father, if you can't do that as a brother, you can't do that you're not a leader. If you cannot run, you cannot be a leader. Because as soon as that thing moves away from you quickly, you can lead a group of men right here, and then it moves over there, and you got to walk over it, and you're behind already. You're not the leader. Okay? It is very, very important. Most people, why do you think? Let's go, Malik. Why do most people not run?
I think they just stop, and then they never pick it back up again, and then they're too scared to fall or whatever. They're too weak. Their joints are fucked up, probably from all of the sitting, so on.
Well done. You said all the words, bro. Fear, baby. Fear will absolutely ruin your life. Now there's big fears. Now I go like, what are you afraid of, right? And someone will be like, oh, spiders, heights, all this stuff. Okay? Those are big fears. Let's get a little bit smaller. Stuff you won't even tell someone. Why won't you run? No, I just don't like running. No. Let's be close. Come closer. Tell me why you actually don't want to run. Kind of worried my knee's gonna go. Right? Okay, now we're getting to it. Okay, now what's a smaller fear? Subconscious fears. You're on a trail. There's a rock here, rock here, rock here. When we're kids, we just go boing, boing, boing. Okay? No questions asked. Then we start to accrue a little bit of hesitancy. We start to accrue a little bit of like some injuries, maybe some trauma, mental, physical, whatever it is. Oh, and now there's a rock here, and we go, oh, okay. And then we can start to accrue more. We stop believing in ourselves physically. And we mentally shut down. We just think, I'm just a normal guy. I'm going to go get this 9 to 5, just sit in the office. My wife's going to be medium looking, and I'm going to wake up and just hope things go well for here on to the rest of my life, okay? And then we get to a rock and we go, okay? You're making these subconscious choices a million times a day. Grab it like this. No, I've had this shoulder thing. I'll grab it like this. Go pick up that thing. Your wife wants you to move a box. Oh, go pick it up. Okay. straight back, all right, bend at the hips, push from the knees, all these things. These are the small, what I call micro fears. Your micro fears every time you get in a group, every time you're by yourself. People are scared today just to be by themselves. Micro fears of like what my own thoughts are and to be by myself with my own thoughts. Okay? Fear is what is holding you back from every single thing you've ever wanted. And you might say, well, I don't want to be a runner. Great, don't be a runner. But when you have to chase something, you have to run, right? So it doesn't matter. You don't have to go do a marathon, but you cannot be limited by not being able to run. What's another thing that brings people out of the pattern of grinding into the ground and living in some sort of dystopian world where we're just battling through every day? What's another thing? Posture. I teach a lot of posture points, whether it's in running, life, business, anything. If we're walking around with our shoulders hunched forward and our neck looking in like this sort of, I've been looking at my phone all day situation, my shoulders are forward, my hips can't come out of internal rotation, I have nothing going on in the calves or glutes, you don't have much chance. If you get in a group of monsters like this, you have no chance. You're going to have to come up with some unimaginable magic trick to pull off being the leader of that group, okay? Because just for example, if the shoulders are in front of the neck, and we've dropped forward, the weight of this arm and scapula and everything is driving you into the ground. This is 15 minutes, 20 minutes in a marathon. What about in life? This is untold amounts of energy. What about in communication? No one believes you. No one believes you. Because you're not showing it. You can have as much information as you want. There's no shortage of information in the world. What there's a shortage of is proof of concept standing right in front of you that becomes very hard to argue with. That is what's important. Okay? Posture. Stop driving yourself into the ground. Feet. Why do feet make us feel alive? If I propose to my wife and she says yes, what do I want to do? If I make a big sale, what do I want to do? If I win a race, what do I want to do? I want to jump up and down like a kid. What do I really want to do when I get outside? I want to put my arms out and just float. I want to skip. I want to jump. I want to do all these things. And you're scared of it because your feet are shit. So you can't jump and you can't run. So now we've got these millions of micro fears permeating our life and we wonder why things aren't going well. Okay? I have a program, Elite Feet, which has been a lifelong passion of mine to get people's feet online again, not just be online, jump higher, run faster, feel better. Your life improves at a standard rate based on how good your feet are. Why? Because I can run, jump, float, I can stand up tall, I feel good, I've got this bounce of that I had as a teenager. We start feeling youthful. I'm reverse aging is what I'm doing. And everyone here could do that too. Okay? I'm not trying to live forever. I'm trying to go backwards, dude. And it's possible. I'm currently doing it. And a lot of my friends are doing it. A lot of people on this call are doing it. Okay? It's all possible. I want to talk about why I think the feet are so important. For running, jumping, and all that, that's great. For life, even better. It does make your life better, 100%. Why? For the reasons I mentioned previous, here's the other thing. It is a mental practice. When you go outside, it's not enough to walk around your house barefoot. It's not enough to be in barefoot shoes. Barefoot shoes is called not being barefoot. That's what I call that. Okay? You have to go outside. You have to feel texture. What if I only grip smooth surfaces and someone's like, hey, we grab that spiky ball, and I go, oh, I don't know. Sounds scary. You have to feel texture. When you get texture through the feet, when you start walking on things that are uncomfortable, your brain gets lit up with texture. You start noticing that under the foot is pliable and bones are shifting and there's a shock absorber there, right? You start feeling different sensations that you've probably never felt since you were a kid, coming from the feet. Most people are walking through this world, hands, eyes, ears, nose, mouth. The majority of feedback I get on a daily basis coming straight through my feet. And that's where the movement comes from. That's why I have boundless energy. That's why I feel like I'm reverse aging. That's why I feel like a kid. That's why I'm non-stop, absolutely non-stop. When I was a kid and growing up, these are what things people told me. Too high energy, bro. You're just too much. That's not going to work. You need to grow up and be a young professional. What about stability? You guys heard all this stuff? You heard all this? Just nod your head if yes. These are common things. The people you hear these from are misinformed. They're not bad people, they're misinformed. Because I played 3 professional sports. And I've put down world-class numbers in multiple other professional sports. And I change people's lives daily. And my wife's a 12 out of 10. I got 2 beautiful kids and I live a dream life. Okay? It's because I've gone on instinct. Because the messages you're getting from society are not correct. They're misinformed. You are highly capable. You were living in a cave just 500 years ago. Right? You were barefoot. You were cold and thirsty and hungry and you didn't care and you never stopped. The pursuit today that we want is, I want comfort. No, you don't. That's a trick. And as soon as you sit on the couch, the demons catch up. You got to keep moving. You've got to keep moving because there's people out there. It's not even for you. There's people out there that need you. As soon as you start believing there's people out that need you, you get outside and you start pushing yourself nonstop. And this is very important. The other mental part of barefoot is you have to slow down. When you get on stones barefoot, you feel vulnerable. You feel very vulnerable. And if I were to attack you at that point, you'd have no chance. Because you're walking around like this. Okay? And then you're reacting to every stone. That stone doesn't care. It's not trying to hurt you. It's just there and you stood on it. And then you're going to react to it. And then what you realize is it's actually not about getting more comfortable barefoot. It's about reacting to less. This is the resilience. The same comes through the body hacking techniques. You've had an injury for 10 years. Why? I've never had anything for 10 years. Why do you have something for 10 years? Because you push yourself? I've pushed myself since I was 12 years old. The highest level contact sport. Why do you get to be special? Because then you have less expectations on you. And people start to expect less. And you just play, you just throw the ball to someone else. That's great. Don't run to go get it. And when your kids ask to play chase, you go, I can't play chase, but we can play hide and seek very slowly, right? And your life is being diminished. This is all based on fear. You don't get to just have an injury forever because you want to be a victim and have less people sort of expecting things for you. If you have something that you're worried about, come to me. We'll get rid of it, and then we'll start actually living life. Okay? And then you can start being the person you actually want to be. The scariest thing in all of our minds is we have a vision of the greatest possible scenario for our life. And the scariest thing is that we could actually do it. But what happens if we actually do it? Well, then we have more people believing in us, more people relying on us. We have more pressure. We don't have a chance to sit on the couch. We have to go. That is too scary for a lot of people. So you can make a choice. You can go that way, or you can go the other way. Okay? You have to take your shoes off. There's many stories in Native American culture. Someone would be sick and say, you got to take your shoes off. Of course you're sick, you're wearing shoes. Okay? Feel the ground, feel the stones. I almost never get sick. And I get cold and I don't complain about it. And I get thirsty and I'm not worried about being thirsty. And I get hungry and I know I'm going to be okay. And there's sharp rocks under my feet and that'll be okay too. Because these aren't survival situations. These are all recreational activities. Okay? They're for funsies. And there's some real pain in this world, and those are not it. So when we come to treating injuries, there's body hacking techniques that take pain. It takes force and intention and time throughout the day. You wake up in the morning, the first thing you do is smash your body. What does that do to the rest of the day? It desensitizes it. And all of a sudden you're standing on rocks, you're running, you got this like, oh, I think I got this signal from my knee, right? And it's desensitized. You're not worried about all these things because you started the day smashing your body. This is resilience. This happens on emotional level too. Why do people not like cold water? So we say, okay, you're going to go in this cold water. They go, oh, I don't know. And I go, what's going to happen? I'm going to be cold. And then what? What happens after that? There's nothing. It's just the ability, all we're doing is testing your ability to manage your emotions. Well, so is weight training, so is running. So is cold water and hot, so is body hacking. All these things. These are very, very important. I just got a question from Lucas. What do you mean in the morning by smashing the body? Soft tissue techniques are overlooked, highly underrated, or misinterpreted. Your body is highly resilient. It is highly pliable. And how many hours of force do you have to put through your body to get injured? Thousands, millions of hours to injure your body. So I'm not going to fix your body by just like lightly be like, oh, it's okay. You know, that's not going to do it. We got to put force through it. Equal and opposite force to retract the damage that we've done. And your body will listen. 100%. I've been doing it for 25 years. I've done it with people on this call we use the word instant results. 100%. You can feel better today. You've had something for 10 years. Let's just fix it today and we'll be all right. Let's get through it. Okay? A lot of the pain we get, like we have injury and then we have hurt. So let's use a 1 to 10 scale. I'm injured. This is a 9 out of 10 every time I step. Well, let's fix it. I can't run today. I've got a 2 out of 10. A 2 out of 10, bro. I've got 7 2s and a 1, and I'm still out here. This is not injury. These are just signals, and signals are up to interpretation. We can interpret all of them. And they're not all based on the words that we have in the English language. Good, bad, pain, all that stuff. That is not the same as the signal. The signal can be interpreted. Okay? So I want to go over a little bit about, since I've met Keegs, how this relationship with Keegan and the Real Movement community is like really changed my life. My life was great before and it's even better now. The guys in here that I've spent time with one-on-one and in a group, the prime examples of athleticism and being driven to help and change people's lives. Well, we need more in life as men that want to lead. We need more than anything. We need community. You don't have to be the strongest or the fastest or anything. We need community though. And being in a community where you can put your message out, being in a community where you can test your theories, where you can learn, be in a community where if I want to prove my concept, some of the things that I say sound very sort of hard to believe, like we talked with Jonas and many others on this call. But if I want to prove it to you, I can prove it in this community. If it works in the community, the other parts of the community are going to look, they're going to hear, they're going to want to be a part of it. And that's how I've utilized the Real Movement community. Not really with that plan, not really with anything, just because that's the way I've always done it. I've just used myself as a proof of concept. I know things work. I've been training hard and fixing people, body and mind, navigating complex situations my entire life. So getting in a group of guys for me wasn't necessarily a challenge. To me, it was like, oh, well, I get to like share what I've learned with these group of guys. It wasn't a challenge to make sales. It wasn't a transactional thing. It was me just saying I can add to the value to this group that's add a lot of value to my life. So I get in, and we have many success stories on this call right now. We've got Joe, who hadn't run in a long time, running within 1 day of hanging out. We got Jonas, who was injured with a lower leg injury. And we got rid of that, and he sent us a video of us jumping a few days later. All right. We got Greg, who's committed hours upon hours, maybe my #1 student, to soft tissue work. He hadn't run in 25 years. He came to camp, did a trail run, climbed a waterfall, and ran back. And then was still barefoot around camp doing soft tissue work. We got Mooch, who came out. He was struggling. There was some mental stuff. We worked on it. We cleared it up. All good. Good messages in nature. What we have here in the community is a opportunity to not just change people's lives within the community, but to learn and to share ways to change people's lives when we go into the real world, in person, mentally and physically, honing our skills within the community, knowing that there are many people with different areas of knowledge that can all be applied. Okay? And that's what Real Movement's given me. I'm excited for the new journey. I'm excited for the leadership group we've put together. I'm excited to be a part of your guys' life. And if you're listening, don't question it. This is the sign. Get in the community. I can guarantee that your life will improve by being in the community. Your coaching techniques will improve. Your athleticism will improve. Your strength, your mentality, everything. This is what men need. Do you guys have any questions? Or statements? Jakub.
So George mentioned how you two met. I'm wondering how you met Keegan. What was the story there?
I was sitting in New Zealand. I was looking for new
athletic methods.
I was looking for new movements, new athletic methods.
You got the new athlete. Lucas made the documentary.
Yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, there we go. I was looking to add to my current clients' movements, and I saw this documentary of them as Montenegro, right? Of Real Movement, a new athlete in Montenegro. And Lucas on this call, he filmed it. And it was amazing. And I was like, oh, these guys are just like 25 dudes in a warehouse, just shirtless, doing crazy moves, all super athletic. Usually you see a documentary like that and you're like, oh, there's a few athletes in here, but like some of them are just hanging on for dear life. And every single person in there was a monster. And I was like, something's going on here. And then I remembered Keegs from like back in the like 2020 sort of like ATG days. I remember seeing him with Ben back in those days, being really impressed with his knowledge and all that. So I reached out and I did something really odd for me. As most of you guys know, I live on a flip phone and haven't really had any internet or public facing thing. And the odd thing I did was I filled out the new athlete questionnaire honestly. I took time to fill it out. One of the questions was, what's your athletic background? And I wrote my athletic background, and it's quite unique. And then Keegs reached out, being like, what's going on here? This is pretty unique. So then we got on a call, and as soon as he picked up the call, he was shirtless, baking in the sun, and so was I. And I thought, this is gonna be good, bro. This is gonna be excellent. So yeah, we started chatting that way, and then I think like a couple weeks later, he like invited me on one of the calls, and then he said like, hey, would you want to get on this call? And I was like, yeah, sure. And then on the call, he like asked me to talk to the people, which I didn't know I was doing at all, which was great. And then that's how we built from there. And then, yeah, that was the start of the journey. It's been a wild one.
Mitchie's on the court there. That's how it is.
Nice.
Can you see that we've got an opportunity to do something big here? Like, those of you who saw my presentation, and like, I know it's a bit laborious maybe. I don't know how you see it, to see the stories of the past. Hopefully it transfers some belief. But like, this stuff works. Like, this structure works. It's not me. It's this structure and the pathway that we've created. You got me here now supporting you. You got Mitchell. You got Ben Patrick. You got all these guys that have joined the leadership group because they want to help. They want to play a bigger role. They want to do something meaningful. We've already had a significant impact. You know, Ben said it a number of times. Nico said it. That, you know, the support and the network has made a huge difference to their paths in life, and then they've gone and changed hundreds of thousands or millions of lives. But we haven't done a fraction of what we can do.
Keegs' model for making coaches into superstars that can change the world, you know, I'm lucky enough for him to be doing that in person with me right now. You know, I was in a cave for 25 years just sharpening my tools, and then he showed up, and to me God was saying, your message is ready to come out. And so I'm a little bit front facing now. He's putting me in front of more people, and I feel very blessed. But everything that he's talking about doing with other coaches, doing with you guys, I've seen in real time, whether that's energy from him, guidance, finances, like it's all been world changing for me. And like he said many times, like it's a process, it's a duplicative process, can be done again. You just need to be highly driven. And this guy's a world changer. He's like a human incubator. Like if you're ready, he can change your life. I look forward to joining that process as well. We've had some of those interactions. I want to be there as well. This guy's talent is finding talent and making a world changing the world with it. And I've found that firsthand, and I'm extremely grateful. And anyone on this call, anyone listening, can do the same if you're ready to actually become who you think you can be. That is the prerequisite. I'm happy to see a lot of happy people and smiles on this call as we're all chatting here. We really appreciate you guys' time. Yeah, we really appreciate it. Appreciate you being here.
So we're going to do these events monthly, every quarter, 3 to 4 times a year. We're going to have a big one with a lot of presenters. We always have presenters from within the community, exactly as I spoke about before. Like, it's a big part of the model for success. You don't think you're ready to present, you need to present. Jonas has already presented for the group. Jose's presented for the group a number of times. Moochie's presented to the group. That, you know, you want to be preparing that, and that's a big part of the process. So we'll have in-house presentations. We'll have presentations from the elite guys, and then Liam's played a massive role in building a lot of the momentum that we had in the 2022, 23 time, and he's also wanting to work more closely again with a few guys to get it pumping again with what Liam can bring to the table, which is like systems around making money online, and that process, systemizing that process to build an income. So each of us have those things to bring it might be an opportunity for a small presentation initially. There's also opportunity to put things into the Dance Club app, which we may rebrand as like Real Athlete or whatever. It's not about dance. It's got all the stuff in there. It's got all the skills. It's got all the different strength stuff. You can do normal strength programs that aren't dense. Put a program in there. Put something in there that you believe in. Put some of the movements in there that you believe in. Build a skills flow, a skills tutorial. We've had multiple coaches already do that. Pierre put his system in there around like the zoo type training, like animal stuff. Augusto's put a system in there around floor acrobatics. We've got Marcel's rope course in there. Moochie's working on his basketball course right now. Boom, 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 boom. But this is the flexibility of mind, see? Anyone within this network is going to feel comfortable to work with any sport. If you've been learning to juggle, if you've been learning handstands, if you're learning the foot skills, if you're learning to improve your gait, then it's just another thing. Whatever sport you get the opportunity to work with, you're going to throw yourself into it. And then you're going to earn the respect of the athletes within that, not because you're going to be better than them, but because you're going to be in the process and you're going to understand, you're going to ask questions, you're going to be able to play. That's what Moochie's doing over there in the Caribbean. It's something I'm super proud of, that he gets to have that opportunity, and that these transformations keep happening within 1, 2, 3, 4 years. But you got to throw yourself fully into the process. And that's also being accountable with your training. Like, let's get to the next level athletically. We've got leaderboards there now in the Dance Club again, like we've had in the past. We're going to also have it, because we're building our own tech now, we can go further with it as well. It's always been a bit of a limitation, even with the Glide apps that we were building. But you can have your own set of leaderboards. So what are the leaderboards that go with the stuff that you value? You can choose the leaderboards that go with what you value. You have your own scores in there, and then other people's scores will show whether they've done the tests because of you or for another reason. This is where we're going. This is the model. I don't want to create clones. It's not CrossFit. It's not ATG. We're not all doing the same thing. Those systems are valuable, and it's good to have a standardized system that everyone does the same thing. But I want the unique best of you. And it doesn't even have to be training related. I'm asking Kev for a philosophy course as well. And host an event. Jonas hosted Lucas recently. It's a great thing for Lucas. It's a good thing for Jonas as well. It made Jonas think differently about his business. He got different video footage. Lucas got to spend special time in Sweden with Jonas's family and in the elite athletic environment with national level sprinters. I don't know whether he found his future wife or not. That's what he was going there for. But it's this is what it needs to be. Whether it's two guys getting together, or whether it's groups, whether it's the big events here in the mountains in Montenegro and whatnot, it's worth it. Take your family if that's the thing. Take your girl, whatever it's going to be, or go alone if that's what the time for where you're at. But these times together are super special as well. Yeah, of course they did. It's just a bit shy to ask someone out for a coffee. Next time, Lucas, play the long game. It's all good.
Found in Greece, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, that's the opportunities though. See, like Jonathan took the chance. He got out of the back of his car and got onto his family land, and he put all of his heart and soul into building a place on the side of a mountain in Greece. And now he's getting guys from the network going there, beautiful women going there, and it's a special opportunity.
The event was really nice that he hosted. Like I spent 3 weeks there, and also like when you, Mitchell, talked about being barefoot all the time, it was like 3 weeks straight barefoot, no shoes, hiking the mountains without shoes. Like we spent like a whole day in a canyon just climbing the waterfalls. There was like the rocks you can climb like a staircase. And I never felt so alive. Like it's amazing. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, how can I have this like 24/7 for my whole life now? Like having this feeling of being so connected to nature, so connected to the people there. And yeah, it's like the community aspect as well. Like you eat together, you train together, and you're like in nature. Yeah. It's anyone who hasn't been at the Lucid Village, you should probably go. Yeah.
That's the process. Starts with a crazy vision that no one could imagine, and then you do a little bit, and then you do a little bit more, and then you try something, and then other guys help out, and then all of a sudden the impossible has happened. We all need to do that. We all need to help each other to do that. That's the way that it happens, the way that it works. people aren't doing this stuff in isolation. Like especially not building the physical villages and these things, but even building online business and stuff. It's very, very difficult. Like a very small percentage of people ever get to the point that Moochie's gotten to in 3 years of big following, top profile athletes. It's 3 years. It's not 4 years yet. But there's a process. There's a system. If you're not on a program, there's an invitation to join Mitchell's Project Try Harder. You need to either be on a program and tell us which program you're on if you're if you're in the network here, or otherwise it's Project Try Harder, which there's a few clips of in the chat. It's worth a look.
Yeah, worth a look to look at this new program, guys.
We've got to push the physical standard. That's the obvious, easiest, simplest, clearest thing to start with. Like let's train better from today.
This is third training session today. Got to get it rolling. A few sprints, bit of basketball. Trained Kevin this morning. Good session. Progressed on the squat for the haters. Little 50-pound goblet. Introduced us some more plyos. Not playing ball this week, so we're gonna be jumping a lot. But energy was awesome today, Mitchell. I didn't get to see Keegan's presentation, but what I'd just like to say is, like, for people that don't know, I joined the network when I was in college about three and a half years ago. Very lost with what I wanted to do in terms of coaching journey. But I've been to the most events, trying to take any opportunity that I could to come and see Keegan, spend more time with him. And the payoff is ridiculous. So keep staying connected on these calls. You won't realize it probably in the beginning, but the more you get the stuff in your brain, got me out here hitting my sprints again, basketball again. So got to get it going. Got to get the body moving. Got to get the mind right. There's so much laziness. Like I'm in Turks and Caicos, and just like I'm the only dude like soaked up, sweat, barefoot all day. It's like you would hope to see something change if you go to a different location, but it's not like that. So this community is super rare, super unique, super valuable. To be a superior man amongst whatever we know is going on in society. That's it.
Liam's making jokes there, but people underestimate Kevin Durant's intelligence and what you learn from 20 years of being at the top as a pro athlete. Think about how many coaches he's had. Think about how many systems he's been in. When you get chosen by someone at that point in their career and that point in their life, like you're the one. Like there's still a lot on the line, and there's a big difference that can be made, but it's a lot different to a rookie athlete making that decision. It's something that Moochie should be super proud of, to have earned that opportunity with everything that he's been doing. Yeah, the content is part of it, but it's that only gets you through to the first conversation, the first look. If it wasn't what he wanted in person, like Kevin Durant's going to work that out pretty quick. Of, oh yeah, this guy's not the real deal. Just walk out. It could have lasted 2 minutes. It's not about IG at that point. It's about who you are as a man, what you can do physically, what your presence is, what your confidence is, and then what you can deliver as a product professionally. It's all good to be a nice guy and think, oh yeah, this guy's cool. But if the stuff isn't good, if it's not making the body feel good, if it's not something different, it's over. So it's a very big thing for Mooch, but for the whole network. Like, okay, these are the tools that we know. We can all get much better at these tools as well. Thanks for jumping in, Pierre. Rest well. But it's only the beginning, Mooch. Where's it going to be? Another 4 years, another 3 years, whatever we're talking.
Yeah. He said 4. I told him 10.
I'm talking about you, not him. Where are you going to be in another 4 years?
Yeah. Well, I like what you said about the movements. Like it's a big thing for the network for me to get access to an opportunity like this, because it's like we all know the training. It's just about the intent and how much you rep it, how much you learn it yourself to apply it. That's what's really cool. But me in 4 years, I don't know. That'd be good for everybody to think about that. Where you at in 4 years? Gotta have the village. Athletes come to me.
That's it. You own Turks and Caicos, or whatever the other part is.
Yeah.
Thanks, boys. Really appreciate you.
Let's get it.
Let's see if we get a dunk try.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
I was just looking for you to make a shot in the last 5 minutes, bro.
That could have happened too. Barefoot, I think it's like 10-2. Just saying.
Oh,
that was close.
what are we saying? The suspense. Is he going again?
Well
All right.
done, Mooch.
That's the progress report. That's the thing. Honesty,
Well done,
put it
bro.
out there. Do your best. Level up. Let's get it.
Gotta go both ways now. The weak side.
That's the way.
All right, everybody.
All right. Thanks, team.
See you, boys.
Let's get it rolling. Grateful. Appreciate it, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Thank you very much, guys. It was a great call.
Thank you so much, guys. Epic call.
Thanks, Joe.
Changed the world.
That's right, baby.
Yeah.